getting those Alaskan rainbows. The Western Native Trout Initiative Challenge involves catching 18 species of trout and char across 12 states in the U.S. Every episode, we will try to catch a different species. Follow along as we attempt to complete the whole challenge with Tenkara rods.
So for the first fish of the challenge, we decided, let's go to Alaska and get some big Alaskan rainbow trout. We also decided, hey, let's bring a few good friends. So we got our buddies Blake and Ben that came from Salt Lake. And then we've got Billy, old concrete boots, that came from Southern California. We call him concrete boots because he kind of had a hard time stumbling across the river on some of those big river crossings. We decided, man, what better way to hit Alaska than with 6 stinky dudes in a motorhome, right?
Yeah, it's unreal how it all happened. I like finagling.
You! Getting ready to get on the plane.
I don't even need a big fish today, just lots of fish. That'd be fun.
And then I'd like to catch at least 50 fish.
Now, Alaska is a special place. There are lots of different places that we could have gone to catch rainbow trout. We decided to get a little bit more remote and do a fly-in trip where we flew into a small lake and then hiked down to a creek.
Is that it for fishing much? We're just doing Tenkara today. What? What the hell are you doing?
You guys are really good up there.
Go. I'm great. I did do that. To Haviland Beaver were flying.
Alaskan rainbow trout aren't super hard to find. They are abundant throughout the state and with pretty healthy populations. And there are several reasons for this. Many of the spots where they live are pretty isolated. But aside from the isolation, the Alaskan rainbows live in pristine environments where they have an abundance of food, especially during the salmon runs. In these areas, the trout feast on salmon eggs and get fat, strong, and healthy, which makes for some pretty epic fishing. They're not your typical stocked rainbow trout. These are the meatheads of the rainbow family. Wild populations are healthy, and the way to keep them that way is to make sure that these environments are preserved. Just got to the creek and it's a little high. We saw it from the airplane and it looked kind of high, but now that we're down here, it looks pretty high and kind of uncrossable.
Only one way to find out, dude. Ben?
Well, it looks like if we got that up. Good, we want to see all the dead pinks. I think we need to look for chum. I think if we find the chum, we'll find the trout.
These guys, you can see how skinny he is. He's getting ready to die in a little bit. Sometimes it takes a little bit of searching. We made a few sketchy river crossings. Billy, we almost lost Billy.
Always sketchy crossing the river.
But we finally found the spot where the rainbows were just loaded in these runs.
I know.
Right behind the salmon. I believe I hooked up with the first rainbow, and that's always such a sigh of relief.
Bad he is. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to hold him very long.
Once you hook into that first big AK rainbow, then you know that we've found a pretty good spot where we should be able to get more, and then after that, the fishing was just on fire.
Wide. This is like the lake of fish right here.
Get him out of my hole!
Man, between the 6 of us, we probably landed over 200 fish. I think that sounds reasonable.
Belly on that thing.
So when we're out in Alaska and we're all fishing the river, we like to do this thing we call net duty, where, for example, there were 5 of us fishing. So we'd have 3 guys fishing and 2 guys on net duty. You know, you can really only do this when the fishing is really, really good. And so 3 guys would fish. When one person hooks up with a fish, they call for the net, and if you're on net duty, you run over as quickly as you can. You net the fish for your buddy, and then you're off net duty and you switch. You go to the front of the line. So at all times, we'll have people netting, people fishing, and it really just makes it, it's fun for the people netting the fish, but it's also amazing if you're the one fishing because you get the fish to the net really quickly and puts less pressure on the fish, and you get more time fishing.
All right, who's up next?
With all the eggs and salmon in the river, these fish are just gorging themselves on eggs so much to where sometimes as you lift some of them out of the water, they start puking up eggs.
So good. Dude, I got the spot right here.
Okay.
I'll show you.
For some reason, I just can't help but laugh when I've got a nice fish on the line, or you look out and say, Drew's got a good one on the line, and Blake's got a good one on the line. And Blake starts cackling like his little witch laugh that he does. And, you know, the net guy doesn't know which way to go because there's multiple people with fish. It gets a little hectic, but man, it's hectic in a very good way.
Yeah, when you do a fly-in, you're pretty stoked when you can get into fish like this. It's just a fat fish, you know, not super long.
It was a lot of fun having our friends there because everyone's hooking up with giant fish, and one of the best parts about hooking and landing a big fish is when you've got some other friends there to celebrate it with.
Yeah, super good. It's a bit high.
You just walk over, throw that on the ground, throw that on the float, grab the back leading edge right there. Put your hand
It ended up being an amazing day of fishing with ideal weather conditions. You know, we were out on the river with our friends, everyone's catching nice fat rainbow trout, and we got to see a really wild part of the state. Alaska has a lot to offer and some amazing fishing opportunities. So check out next week's episode where we go after Dolly Varden.